Hey VC, Big Star 1000 with a new installment of Revolutions, a series in which I discuss the current spins from my collection. Just a hodgepodge, a mixed bag of of records which I've been digging recently, which I've been enjoying, and I set aside. And since there's hardly any videos in the VC these days, I mean, again, I say that all the time, but I'll repeat, of the people that I've subscribed to, okay? I know there's shitloads of videos in the VC, but, you know, um, I don't subscribe to everyone. So, people, you know, you are, make some videos for goodness sakes, so we can, you know, entertain each other. It's cool. This is better on TV. Well, most of the time, anyway. Okay, so I've got a pile at my feet. So what have I been playing recently? A band that I must admit has been very present in my listening stacks recently is Radiohead. And recently I've been spinning a lot of Hail to the Thief, which is their album from 2003, I think, or what year was it? 2003, yes. I'm not going to try to take this out of the packet because it's just so you can see it. It's a great record. It's a fantastic record. I don't know. When we talk about Radiohead, we don't often mention Hail to the Thief. It's mostly Kid A or OK Computer. More recently, In Rainbows makes the cut because it's a fantastic record. But this is amazing, and I should listen to this more often. I don't, but at the moment, like In Rainbows and this and Amnesiac as well. I've been playing a lot. Amnesiac, Kid A, In Rainbows, and this. The like a lot of spins. So it's cool. But I'm not going to talk about Radiohead for 5 hours. You know Radiohead. The other day, I was at home and I was fussing through my shelves for albums I haven't played for a while, and I came across this. This is Odessa by the Bee Gees, and this is a wonderful record. Just super cool gatefold, and this is not the Velvet version. This album is from 1968. I think this is an Australian press, Festival Records. After all, the Bee Gees were part Australian. I mean, we claim them here as Australians. I think they're from Manchester. The brothers, the Gibbs brothers. But this is a fantastic record. This record I've had on my shelf since I've been living in this house, which because it was one of the first orders that I made when I moved in this very house. So, but I don't think that's a decade on my shelf. It's been played 5 times maybe, but it's great. It's a really beautiful Baroque pop, psych pop record from the 60s. It's fantastic and everybody should own it. And I don't think many people show this on the VC, and it's a shame because it's a great record. And as I was looking for things to play, I reminded myself that I hadn't played. Oh, this is a beast of a record. I mean, there's no two way about it. This is just one of the best records in my collection, and criminally so. I haven't played this for a couple of years at least, and when I put it on, something exploded in my head. Mr. Dennis Wilson. Oh, I could sleeve face a bit there. Pacific Ocean Blue. My word, look at this. I almost fit with the guy. It's fantastic. It's kind of freaky. Let's do it. There you go. I should finish the video like this. So Dennis Wilson, yeah, the other Wilson of the band. Now this is a triple vinyl reissue on Sundays, which came out in 2008, which I did pre-order at the time, which I'm glad I did because it's a fantastic package. It's all on beautiful Pacific Ocean blue vinyl. This record is just so good, so masterful. It's bittersweet pop music, like you want it to be, exactly pinpoint perfect. Pacific Ocean Blue by Dennis Wilson. If you don't have this record, you're missing out. I'm just telling you, you just are missing out. One of the jewels of my collection, for sure. Another jewel of my collection is this record by the Mekons. This is called Fear and Whiskey. The Mekons are a band from Leeds in England, and they came from the same scene that spawned the Gang of Four. In fact, they were mates with the Gang of Four. And the first record is a very angular kind of post-punk, kind of weird, UK post-punk as we know it, as like the Gang of Four, like the pop group, like the Raincoats. But then they kind of went on a hiatus and came back in 1980, I think this is 1985, with a sort of mix of country and punk, a bit in the way the Meat Puppets would mix country and punk, but this sounds more like a Pogues record than a Meat Puppets record. The idea of the Meat Puppets are fairly similar, in terms of the aesthetic. It's got this sort of punkish, post-punkish sort of backdrop, but it's very countrified, and it made a label, Sin Sun. Fantastic. This is just maybe one of the very first alternative country records. Maybe is that what you would call it? Don't let yourself be put out by the label country. I know that some people just hear the word country and just start vomiting. But this is just it's just an amazing blend of punk and country music. This morning in Melbourne it was very rainy and kind of disgusting. Let me take a sip, as I'm still sick. And on a rainy day I like to play sort of rainy day records, and this is a quite beautiful rainy day record. This is Beau Handsome with Attic Thoughts, which is on the famous Charisma label. I have quite a few of these records of Beau Handsome, and I chose this one this morning because I hadn't heard it for a while, and I tend to always go for Lord of the Rings, but this is beautiful. The Magician's Hat is very good too. It's just a whiz of an organ player. It's just so. I mean, just as a musician, it's just amazing. And if you know Beau Hansen from Sweden, yes, Sweden, and he's a progressive, a psych prog kind of singer. Well, not singer. Sorry, he's not a singer. He's the music is mostly instrumental. I apologize for my crap that I'm talking. And here we are, some other records that I spun recently. With some friends online, I was vibing off some Lou Reed stuff, and I pulled out my copy of Songs for Drella, which is just a wonderful record. It was kind of a reunion record. I want to show you this because it's got a. You can see this Andy Warhol there. Can you see? Can you see? Is it possible to see? Basically, this record, which I used to do a series called Obscure Classics, and there's a playlist on my channel if you want to check it. And this is one of the records that I featured at the time because this is a record that is not very well known. In 1991 or 1990, I think, Lou Reed and John Cale reunited due to, I think, the death of Andy Warhol brought them back. I think I'm right now. I think he was either dying or dead, and they decided to make this record as a tribute. It's a concept album about Andy Warhol. It's called Songs for Drella, and Drella was a nickname of Andy Warhol. It was like a compound of Dracula and Cinderella. I think it is. Like, it was a nickname that he was given, or he gave himself, Drella. And this is a great, like, sort of, it's very sparse, like a bit of piano, a bit of viola. John Cale plays the viola on this, a bit of guitar, and just lots of really clever lyrics. It's just a really nice, sort of whimsical at times record. John Cale and Lou Reed, and Lou Reed is dead now too. So, and I also pulled out this John Cale record, Music for a New Society, which is just brilliant. Again, very sparse. This is kind of like a John Cale in marble index era Nico mode, like sort of dark John Cale, Music for a New Society, which seems to be a promotional copy of some sort. I've had this forever, so I don't know, I can't remember, but this is a killer record. And this morning I was playing a bit of a couple of jazz and funk records to get me in the mood, and I pulled out this classic bebop kind of, well, I don't know if it's a bebop record or maybe it's a post bop. I think it's just rather a bebop record. Money Jungle, Duke Ellington on piano, Charles Mingus on bass, and Max Roach on drums. What a fucking lineup, eh? How about that? This is from 1962 or 1963. My copy is a Japanese press from the 70s, I think. On United Artists. There you go. Fantastic, amazing records. It's like the best of the best playing together. Righto. Since I was talking about funk, this is kind of amazing. This is I was playing this morning as well. This is Rufus Harley with Recreation of the Gods, which is like a spiritual funk record. And what's interesting about this record is that Rufus Harley plays the bagpipes on this. Bagpipes funk. Yes, that's possible. You've heard that correctly. It's amazing. It's really so well done that you can't fault this record. It uses bagpipe as a funk instrument. You didn't know it was possible, but it is. This is from 1972 on Ank Records. I would have to remortgage my house for an original of these. So this is a repress, but it's a nice repress. There you go, Ank Records. Beautiful record, and I got this very cheaply at my local record store, maybe a few months back. maybe a year ago or something, maybe a bit less, I don't know. I can't remember exactly. This record reminds me of Soul Controller Nick. If you're watching, Nick, hello. I hope you're well. Okay, continuing. Well, since I was talking about funk, I also play this classic funk joint, Ramp, the Roy Ayers musical project, Come Into Knowledge. Beautiful, beautiful soul, kind of soulful funk records. Just a solid funk album. And yeah, it's produced by Roy Ayers. And I do think Roy Ayers plays on this. Does he play or not? Or he just produces, yeah. But there's quite a few songs. There's Everybody Loves the Sunshine on it. And again, this is a reissue. Like, I would love to get an original of this, but this was just, cheap, and it works for the moment, when you live in Australia, it's very, very difficult to get these as OGs. Like, I know in America you probably can walk into a store and find those, but in Australia, in reality, it's very hard. This is from 1977 on ABC Records, by the way. A few sort of, I'll finish off with a few European electronic library crowd rock records. What do I start with? Well, this morning I was playing this. This is an Italian, rocket, this thing. Gruppo di improvvisazione Nuova Consonanza. This is Niente, which is you've got Ennio Morricone, you've got Eiji Stomaki, a lot of really amazing players. This was reissued in 2011. This was never issued back in the 70s, so it's not a reissue. It's an archival kind of re-release, but yeah, it was never issued. This record kicks ass majorly. When I listen to it, I hear Can and I hear Miles Davis electric jazz band, Bitches Brew and Salad Way, and that's why I hear it's like a meeting of Can and Miles Davis. This is it. If you want a record that fits those boxes, it's an amazing record. I don't know if you can find copies quite easily these days, but it was issued by the local Melbourne label, the Round Table Records. It's cool. It's very cool. Now, since we're talking about European grooves and library records, this is superb Mindbender by Stringtronics. This is a library joint, a reissue on Vadim Records, number 259 from 1972. This is a funky library record, lots of strings. It's a holy grail in collector's circles. Not that you can get an original of this because, how would you? Library records are scarce anyway, so. But even this would be scarce now. Even a reissue of this would be difficult to find. I'm very glad I have one. It's excellent. Library records, excellent. I was also playing this French electronic, sort of kind of deep brooding kind of electronic masterpiece. Some Deaths Take Forever by Bernard Sajner. Bernard Sajner is in a band called the Hypothetical Prophets, and he then made this record. It's got Klaus Blaskis there playing on it, who's from Magma, and Bernard Paganotti is also from Magma. You can see there's two ex-Magma members on this. It's just superb. It's like electronic music. It's dedicated to Amnesty International, where you can see by the sign. This is, I think this is an OG. I'm pretty certain it's an OG. This is Bernard Sagener in his studio. If you like Held On, if you like Tangerine Dream, Klaus Schulze, this is for you. Bernard Sagener. Basically, this is really very, very, very good. Sorry, I take my time, 20 minutes, and you probably won't want to watch this, but man. I want to give a shout out to my good friend Raymond Danks. If you're on Facebook, which I'm not, but that's how you would know Raymond, because he doesn't really post videos on YouTube. He's never posted videos on YouTube, but he's on Facebook as Raymond Danks. We did a trade together, and he sent me his second copy of Edge of Time by the German band Dom, which is a record that I've had on MP3 for quite a long time, a few years, and now he had 2 copies of it, and so I passed on a double that I had. I sent him a Australian jazz double that I had, and he's kindly sent that to me. Krat folk, experimental, yeah, German kind of, lots of flutes, heaps of flutes, like a bit like Novalis, a bit like Buzzer Machine, like a bit like a little like Thirsty Moon, if you know those bands, obviously, but quite original, like a really, really amazing record. Edge of Time by Dom, 1972, reissue on Second Battle. And I'm going to finish with 2 Australian post-punk classics, absolute classics. The first one is Midnight Oil, which you probably would know. This album is called 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. That's the name of the album. 10 to 1, basically, with chords. This is from 1982, and it's on CBS Australia. I mean, if you don't know Midnight Oil, I think there's this thing called the internet that you can look them up. The singer of Midnight Oil was our Minister for Education until recently, Peter Garrett. He was a minister in Australia, the singer from this. It's amazing. It's a great, great, great post-punk record. In a few years back, the local newspapers from Melbourne called The Age did this top 100 Australian records of all time, which, I mean, you know, those lists are always hit and miss, but they classed this record as number 1. Yes, they did. It's interesting, but I don't know if it would be number 1 for me, but I thought that's interesting. And finally, a great, great sort of ethereal, kind of Dead Can Dance minus the sort of ethnic vibe records. This is a band called Not Drowning Waving. They're also from Melbourne. Midnight Oil are from Sydney, I think, not from Melbourne, from memory. And this is a band led by a guy called David Bridie. This is on Rampant Record, which is from Melbourne. Notice the similar release to a magazine record. Not the correct use of soap. Secondhand Daylight. Almost identical. This is a wonderful kind of ethereal post-punk record. So there you go. It's my listening stack. I hope you enjoyed. It's going to be under 25 minutes, which is good for me. And if you have any comments to make, just go for it and go for your life. It's a free country, a free world, or so we think. Cheers, VC.